Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about something deeply personal, something that often defines how we live our lives, how we interact with others, and how we tackle challenges in the world. That something is how we see ourselves. You see, everything begins with the self. Your perception of who you are shapes the way you approach every aspect of your life. It affects your relationships, your career, your personal development, and your sense of fulfillment. But what if I told you that the way you see yourself might not be accurate? What if I told you that the limitations, the fears, the doubts, and even some of the beliefs you hold about yourself are not true representations of who you are or who you can be? Today, I want to challenge you to change the way you see yourself, and in doing so, change your life. Our perception of ourselves is like a pair of glasses. If the lenses are foggy or distorted, everything we see will be unclear or warped. And just like glasses, the lens through which we view ourselves can be adjusted or changed altogether. But here's the problem. Most of us have grown accustomed to seeing ourselves through the wrong lens. We carry with us the weight of past mistakes, insecurities, and the judgments of others. We've become comfortable with self-doubt, with thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, or I can't change. But let me ask you this. What if the way you see yourself is not based on reality, but on a story you've been telling yourself? What if that story is outdated or wrong altogether? Imagine for a moment the possibilities that open up when you begin to see yourself in a new light. When you let go of that limiting narrative and start believing in your potential, your worth, and your ability to grow. One of the most common reasons people fail to see themselves clearly is because they are stuck in their past. They see themselves through the lens of their past mistakes, failures, and disappointments. But let me be clear, your past does not define you. Every single one of us has made mistakes. Every single one of us has failed at something. But those mistakes and failures are not who you are. They are simply experiences, lessons, if you will, that you've lived through. In fact, the person you are today is a product of those experiences, but not in the way you might think. You are not a failure because you failed. You are someone who is resilient because you got back up. You are not weak because you made mistakes. You are strong because you learned from them. So let go of the narrative that tells you you're not good enough because of what happened in the past. The past is gone, and you are free to write a new chapter, starting right now. Take a moment to think about the story you've been telling yourself. Is it one of limitation? Do you see yourself as someone who isn't capable of achieving great things, someone who is defined by fear, by what others think of you? If so, I challenge you to change that story today. You see, the story we tell ourselves is powerful. It becomes our reality. If you believe you are not capable, you will act in ways that confirm that belief. If you believe you are not worthy of success or happiness, you will sabotage yourself whenever those opportunities arise. But the beauty of it all is that you have the power to change that story. You have the power to rewrite it. Start telling yourself a new story, one where you are strong, capable, and worthy. One where you are constantly growing and evolving. One where you are in control of your destiny, not a victim of circumstance. And as you begin to tell yourself this new story, you will start to see a shift in the way you approach life. Your actions will align with this new belief, and soon, the world around you will begin to reflect this new narrative. Your self-image, how you see yourself, affects every decision you make. It affects how you interact with others, how you set your goals, and how you respond to challenges. If you see yourself as someone who is weak, you will hesitate when faced with difficult situations. If you see yourself as someone who isn't smart or talented, you will shy away from opportunities that could lead to growth and success. But what happens when you start to see yourself differently? What happens when you start to view yourself as capable, confident, and deserving of good things? You begin to take bold action. You begin to step out of your comfort zone and embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. You begin to take risks, knowing that failure is not the end but simply a stepping stone toward success. You must realize that your self-image is like a thermostat. It sets the temperature for your life. If your self-image is low, you will subconsciously sabotage yourself to stay at that level. But if you raise your self-image, if you begin to see yourself as someone who is deserving of success and capable of achieving it, you will begin to take actions that align with that belief. And soon enough, your life will begin to rise to meet the level of your self-image. All of us have limitations. We all have areas where we feel we fall short, where we don't measure up to others. But those limitations are not the whole of who you are. They are simply one part of the story. Too often, we allow our limitations to overshadow our strengths. We focus so much on what we can't do that we fail to see all the things we can do. But let me tell you something. You are so much more than your limitations. You have gifts, talents, and abilities that are unique to you. You have strengths that you may not even be aware of because you've been so focused on your weaknesses. It's time to shift your focus. It's time to start recognizing and celebrating your strengths, no matter how small they may seem. Because when you focus on your strengths, you begin to build confidence. And that confidence will propel you to tackle your limitations head-on. Don't allow your perceived limitations to hold you back from living the life you deserve. Yes, you may have areas where you need to grow, but that doesn't mean you are incapable. It simply means you are human. Growth is a part of life, and every single one of us is a work in progress. One of the most powerful things you can do is embrace the possibility of change. So often, we get stuck in a fixed mindset. We believe that who we are today is who we will always be. But that couldn't be further from the truth. You have the ability to change. Change is not only possible, it's inevitable. Whether you choose to grow and evolve, or whether you stay stuck in your current mindset, change will happen. The question is, will you be intentional about the change you want to create in your life, or will you let life happen to you? It starts with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as someone who is capable of change, someone who is always growing and improving, you will take steps toward becoming that person. But if you see yourself as someone who is stuck, someone who is incapable of change, you will remain in that same place year after year, wondering why your life never seems to improve. I'm here to tell you that you are capable of more than you think. You are capable of transforming your life in ways you can't even imagine right now. But it starts with believing in yourself. It starts with changing the way you see yourself. Because when you change the way you see yourself, you change the way you live. Let's talk about self-compassion for a moment. How often do you criticize yourself? How often do you beat yourself up for not being good enough? For not doing things perfectly? Many of us are our own worst critics. We would never speak to a friend the way we speak to ourselves. We would never treat a loved one with the harshness and judgment we direct inward. But here's the thing. You deserve kindness and compassion from yourself, just as much as you deserve it from others. In fact, self-compassion is one of the most powerful tools you have in transforming your self-image. When you begin to treat yourself with kindness, when you begin to forgive yourself for your mistakes and recognize that you are doing the best you can, you start to build a foundation of self-worth. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or avoiding responsibility. It's about recognizing that you are human, that you are imperfect, and that it's okay. When you can embrace your humanity with kindness, you create space for growth. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in how you see yourself. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, by people who doubt you, criticize you, or belittle your dreams, it's easy to start seeing yourself through that lens. But when you surround yourself with positivity, with people who believe in you, support you, and encourage you, you begin to see yourself differently. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Do they lift you up, or do they bring you down? Do they encourage you to grow, or do they keep you stuck in the same place? If the people around you are not helping you see yourself in a positive light, it's time to make a change. You deserve to be surrounded by people who believe in your potential, who see your greatness even when you can't. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, that's okay. Start by becoming that person for yourself. Start by being your own biggest supporter, your own cheerleader. As you begin to believe in yourself, you will attract others who do the same. Changing the way you see yourself is not an overnight process. It's a journey, one that requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-reflection. But I want you to know that it is possible. You can change the way you see yourself. You can begin to see yourself as someone who is worthy, capable, and deserving of all the good things life has to offer. But it starts with a decision. A decision to stop living in the shadow of your past mistakes. A decision to stop telling yourself a story of limitation and start telling a story of possibility. A decision to embrace change, to embrace growth, and to embrace the incredible potential that lies within you. Changing the way you see yourself is not just about boosting your confidence for a day. It's about creating a new, lasting foundation of belief in your own worth and capabilities. It's a shift in mindset, a shift in how you engage with the world. When you change how you see yourself, you begin to unlock parts of yourself that you never knew existed. You discover strength, resilience, and creativity that have been lying dormant. Often, we wear labels that were given to us by others. Labels like not smart enough, too shy, or not a leader. These labels stick with us, and over time, we start to believe them. But remember, you have the power to peel off those labels and define yourself on your own terms. You don't have to fit into the boxes that others have created for you. You are allowed to redefine yourself as many times as it takes until you find the version of yourself that feels authentic and empowering. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, it becomes incredibly hard for others to see your true potential. But once you change how you see yourself, the world around you begins to change too. People will start treating you differently, opportunities will start showing up, and you will attract the kind of energy that matches your new mindset. To change how you see yourself, it's crucial to start embracing the power of affirmations. Speak life into yourself. Tell yourself every day that you are capable, worthy, and enough. It might feel strange at first, especially if you're not used to speaking kindly to yourself, but over time, these words will become your truth. They will sink deep into your subconscious and begin to change how you feel about yourself on a core level. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that keeps us from seeing ourselves in a positive light. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But fear is not real. It is simply a product of your mind. You have the power to conquer fear by changing your perception of it. Instead of seeing fear as something that stops you, see it as a signal that you're about to do something important, something that will lead to growth. You are far more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Think about everything you've already overcome in your life. The hardships, the heartbreaks, the obstacles that seemed impossible at the time. But here you are, standing strong. That's proof of your resilience, your inner power. You've been through battles and survived them all. Why wouldn't you be able to handle what's ahead? As you work to change how you see yourself, it's important to also let go of the need for perfection. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to have everything figured out to start believing in yourself. Embrace your imperfections, because they are what make you uniquely you. In fact, it's often through our imperfections that we find our greatest strengths. Take time to reflect on what truly makes you special. What are the qualities that set you apart? Maybe you're incredibly empathetic, or you have a gift for problem solving. Maybe you're creative, or maybe you have a quiet strength that others admire. These are the things that make you extraordinary. Start acknowledging them. One of the most profound shifts that happens when you change how you see yourself is that you stop seeking external validation. You no longer need the approval of others to feel good about yourself. Instead, you find validation from within. You know your worth, and you carry that with you in everything you do. Changing the way you see yourself also means allowing yourself to dream big again. Many of us have stopped dreaming because we've convinced ourselves that those dreams are out of reach. But when you start to see yourself as someone who is capable of achieving great things, those dreams become possible once more. You begin to take steps toward them, and slowly but surely, they start to come within reach. Finally, trust the process. Trust that by changing the way you see yourself, you are creating a ripple effect that will touch every area of your life. This change may start small, but its impact will be profound. With every step you take toward believing in yourself, you are stepping into the person you were always meant to be. So today, I challenge you to make that decision. I challenge you to change the way you see yourself. Because when you change the way you see yourself, everything changes. Your relationships improve, your confidence grows, and your ability to achieve your goals skyrockets. The only thing standing between you and the life you want to live is the way you see yourself. So change the lens. Start seeing yourself for who you truly are: strong, capable, resilient, and deserving. And watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. Thank you.